with the king.
Uh-oh,
Mm.
we're going.
Good afternoon, welcome. Athens-Clarke County Board of Elections voter registration. Special call meeting, date is October 22nd. Location 2555 Lexington Road, time is 4:37 PM. First item on the agenda is to adopt it. Chair will entertain a motion.
I so move.
Okay?
Second.
Okay, motion, Ms. Pamrose, second. Mr. Kadir, all those in favor of adopting the agenda, say aye. Okay, agenda is adopted. Next item on the agenda is public comment. Any members of the public wish to make a comment? Okay. Hearing none. Next item on the agenda is resolution on joining amicus brief. So, where shall we start? I had an initial question, but, could you first explain what that is and why we would want to talk about it? Then we can come back to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so our outside, somebody that we use for outside counsel was approached by the attorney for the Cobb County Board of Elections. And he was trying to put together boards of elections who might provide support to, well, let's back up here. If you guys have been following the litigation, you'll see that Cobb County Board of Elections sued the State Elections Board and was issued an order, at least for part of their case, and it was enjoining, so putting it in, like saying, this is not in effect right now, this can't go into effect right now, the hand count rule that was passed by the State Elections Board, okay? Cobb County anticipated an appeal, just like you would for any, I'm not trying to, just like for any, they anticipated an appeal in that case, and we're trying to line up other boards of elections who might provide support should that go up for appeal. And by support, I mean that providing, signing on to a letter, like a friend of the, of Cobb County Board of Elections, and yes, we're the County, or the Athens-Clarke County Board of Elections, and we support this effort. So that's what he was soliciting, to get counties to sign on for it. So we passed that request on to you guys for consideration. Right. And we don't, I will say this at this point, we don't have the brief at this point. The brief would be prepared by presumably Muskogee County Board of Elections is what we were told. And then, so we don't have that, so we don't have anything for you to approve at this point.
Right.
But I know that Rocky wanted to have a general conversation about that, should it come to fruition. And I mean, you know, depending on what you guys want to do, we might be able to, we've been working on language to sort of craft a motion saying, yes, if this comes up, we'd like to sign on, or, you know, we can talk about that. And I haven't heard anything since those initial emails that we sent to you guys. We haven't heard any update on that. So I don't know the status of the brief. I don't know the status of, well, there is no appeal has been filed. I checked the docket before I came here. So there's not even been an appeal filed in the case yet.
Okay. And this is not the case that we just learned about with the Georgia Supreme Court.
Right, so
This is a separate one.
so what Chairman Raffle is speaking to, as we were coming in this building, the Georgia Supreme Court issued an order denying, I mean, there's so many, you guys know, there's so many pending actions against the State Elections Board for the rules changes. Denying a motion for an expedited hearing before the Georgia Supreme Court, an appellate hearing, so appealing the Superior Court's ruling. That was in another case, not the Cobb County case, in a case brought by a group called Eternal Vigilance Action, one of those. That case had a far more sweeping judgment in it. That was a different judge, Judge Cook in the Superior Court of Fulton County, issued a much more sweeping order saying, and I'll pull it up actually, but I think it was maybe 6 or 8 of the rules. The Superior Court judge ruled those 6 or 8 rules, and these are all the ones that have been recently promulgated, as unconstitutional and null and void.
Mm-hmm.
Those rules were supposed to start today, October 27th. So, I mean, most of them were for election night stuff. So those were supposed to start today. The order made all of those rules void and enjoined, well, the, state elections board, and the Georgia Secretary of State, you can't, make elections board. These are not rules that elections offices need to follow. That apparently was immediately appealed to the Georgia Supreme Court. But in order, right, the appellate said, well, we need a hearing right this minute because the election is happening right this second. And the Georgia Supreme Court just denied that request. So there will be no hearing before Elections Day, which in effect, of course, means that the rules now are not in place. The rules changes, and will not be in place before Elections Day, at least with respect to that case. Now, could other cases that are starting to get orders immediately appeal to the Georgia Supreme Court and get a different order? Maybe, seems unlikely, but maybe.
Can other cases undo what that case is, Judge?
I mean, they all would go to the Georgia Supreme Court, so I wouldn't presume to know how the Georgia, but I would imagine they would. I don't know.
And then is that the end of the line? Or is there federal courts that could keep
They
going
could keep
too?
going up, sure, but for the purposes of this election, I'm not sure that that's finally, maybe. That I don't know. Yeah, and like you said, you and I, we got notice of that, as we were walking in the building, so I haven't even looked at the. All that to say, that is a different case than what you're asking. The amicus brief that you're being asked to consider signing on to is Cobb County Board of Elections versus the State Elections Board, which challenged several rules. The judge McBurney in that case made a preliminary, decided on one issue, the hand count rule, and said, we're going to enjoin that rule. The hand count rule is not in place. And then we're going to consider the other ones at a different, as we go through, but in the immediate, for the immediate foreseeable future, the hand count rule, he ruled not in place. So that's the one you're being asked to sign. Does that make sense? I know it's very, you know how many cases there are out there. It's quite overwhelming.
The follow-up question I have back to our business of this amicus briefing. What is the process for you guys having received it? Do you need us to take an action before they send it to you? Is there a financial piece to this?
No financial piece.
Okay.
What we would have loved to come to you today with was with that amicus brief. You read it, you decide whether or not you consent as a board to sign off on it. So we're not, I mean, we can't do that today. I think the alternative is that you could, if you guys wanted to consider a motion to essentially authorize staff, the attorney's office, to review and or participate in the crafting of that amicus brief at the invitation of Muskogee County Board of Elections. With the intention that you would ultimately sign. I mean, you could certainly authorize staff to do so and then, perhaps have some parameters and if given these conditions, we consent to sign it, or once that's completed and in final form, come back and reconvene and vote to sign off on it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the most timely thing.
Ideal.
Yeah, we wish we had it before. And honestly, I don't know again, I checked the docket right before we came. No appeal's been filed, so it may be moot. It may be that there's going to be an appeal and this is not even an issue. And again, this is only for the hand count.
Everybody's expecting a next step and sometimes there isn't always the next.
Yeah, and maybe particularly in light of this, the Supreme Court ruling that just came out, or the denial of the expedited motion, the hearing motion included the hand count rule, also nullified the hand count rule, so.
Do you have an opinion on any negative consequences of us joining that, or I guess negatives depending on who's considering it? Or,
I don't. I mean, it would be up to you. There's no binding. I mean, all it is saying, we're another county out here and we support what's in this brief.
assuming
Assuming you support it, right? That's what signing off, that's what joining in the amicus is. Amicus being friend, like you're a friend.
Friend.
Yeah.
It's a similar concept to some advocacy group writing a letter about sewer in their neighborhood and all the neighbors sign it.
Exactly. I mean, it's filed with the court, of course, but it's,
Rather than,
yeah, but it's not like, it's not the kind of thing like in court when you file a motion, you know, then the judge has a hearing on it and things like that. There'd be no hearing related to insanity. It would just be considered as part of the record.
okay,
Is that enough of a briefing? Okay.
that gives me enough information to make a decision, but how do the others feel? Yes, Hank, so.
One question. Is there like a time limit to when an appeal may be filed? Is there a particular date after which they cannot appeal? Obviously, they cannot do it after the election is over. After the election.
I don't know. Yes, there is a time limit. I don't know when their time started and what their time limit is.
Okay.
I mean, potentially, I guess it could. The election itself wouldn't be the thing that would interfere with that necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, this would be if there was an appeal and if we were to file an amicus brief, it is very specific to handcuffing, right?
Correct. That is the only order in that case relates to the hand count rule.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think we are discussing any other motions or such.
And if I could just back up, just as a reminder for everybody, the reason we're able to talk about this in an open session right now as opposed to an executive session, just for everybody's information, because this is not litigation that we are either responding to or participating in, right? Okay, so I just want everybody to know that the conversation is kosher.
Thank you for that. Seems like you have something to say?
So I just want to be sure I understand, and you're doing a great job navigating all this that's going on. So this at issue right here is, there's a pending, is this the petition I'm seeing where Cobb County Board of Elections versus State Election Board? And this is, and theirs is, the one I'm pulling up is about 6 different rules. Is the one that we're talking about here just the hand count rule?
No, of those 6 different rules,
He's
he
already,
said, we're gonna go ahead and decide this hand count rule right this minute because this is the most timely, in his mind. I'm just expressing what he expressed in the order. He's like, we need to discuss this one right now and make an order. So he made an order on that one and he said, those other 5 points we're gonna get to in due time, but in the meantime.
and then, so with this, thank you. So then with this, then what we're being asked to consider is Muskogee County Board of Elections is authoring an amicus brief in the remaining 5 rules under consideration. And so we might be.
No, no, they would be an amicus brief with response to it gets so turned around. And again, this is all anticipatory. In anticipation that the State Elections Board would appeal the ruling about the hand count.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
So this suit that Cobb County has filed, there's already been ruling from the judge that the hand count is already taken off the table. That might be appealed, and this is where Muskogee is getting ready
That's
to
exactly
file a
right.
petition, an amicus brief filing, that then we might be asked to sign on to.
In
Have I got that
support of Cobb County in that appeal.
Keeping, in that hypothetical appeal, keeping that hand count rule stricken.
Correct, that's correct.
Got it. Okay, so then, is it not already kind of moot if the Georgia Supreme Court already unanimously said 10 minutes ago that those rules, which includes the hand count rule, I'm
Right.
assuming, are, unless they reverse themselves, that kind of,
Yeah, I mean, arguably at this point in time, the Georgia Supreme Court has indicated, we're not gonna, but they may still proceed with their appeal, because I mean, these issues go beyond this election.
and this will be for posterity then, so for the future election.
Absolutely,
Gotcha, okay.
yeah, because it's in the election code, I mean, it's, it's in the state election rules, I mean, they're trying to get, you know what I mean, so sure.
Okay, so then that would be more for the playing out of as things go down the line, not for this upcoming election 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, and of course, I'm just speculating, I have no idea what any of
Gotcha.
those attorneys.
So then, to wrap up my questions for this round, then, what action could we take today? I think we've been advised in the past that doing a pending motion is not really, we've been advised against
Right.
saying we move, this happens if this happens. So.
I
what's that
think
fact?
that what you could do today, if you wanted to, would be to consider a motion to, have staff work with Muskogee County to review and prepare an amicus brief
So
representing your.
it's essentially a resolution directing staff to,
I think you could definitely do that, because that's something that can be done right now.
And then if were that to be drafted, we would then reconvene to formally approve.
That would
signing.
probably, if I were in your
Yeah.
shoes, that was what I would want to do.
So so today we would not be approving sight unseen, an amicus, adorning an amicus brief, because we haven't seen the amicus brief. Is that right? We could just maybe, if we wanted to, give our blessing to go forward with
Right.
getting ready to join that. Is that?
And that's
am I hearing
really,
that?
yeah, I think that's the cleanest way to do it, but you guys can have a discussion amongst yourself about, what your comfort level is.
I just want to be clear what
Yeah.
the stakes were and what we are and are not able to do or being asked to do. So, okay.
But what we can be asked to do now is for you to empower staff to say,
Sure.
yes, we would like to work with you on this matter because we have a shared interest.
But then the final stakes, I'm so sorry.
no, go ahead.
The final, so then
I'm being.
that final step where we actually sign on the line would be after we come back together to approve or reject what you then.
I think
draw up.
that would be the cleanest
Got it,
way
okay,
to approach it.
But we do not have to do it that way. But she also said.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
I think we could, if you wanted to get creative, we could craft a motion, we could sit here all together and craft a motion that also empowered us to sign off on your behalf under certain conditions or something like
Sure,
that.
I
Yeah,
think.
sure.
And,
Okay.
and the immediate thought that comes to my mind, pardon both of you, say it came and you sent it to the board members, could one board member object to having you work on our behalf and that would trigger another meeting or some kind of just one person saying, I want to get together and discuss this. I don't know how you would craft that.
Excuse me, according to our bylaws, it has to be agreement among at least 3 members. Not to do something or to do something.
Yeah, okay.
So one member couldn't,
Mhm.
they'd have to have the support of 2 other members.
Sure.
Yeah, like any
Feel-
other vote, right?
Yeah.
A vote.
Okay. Did you have any additional to add?
Thank you so much for making that suggestion.
Oh, sure, and I'm sorry it's so chaotic, this is,
Yeah.
changes
Every hour.
every minute.
Yeah.
As Charlotte well knows.
Yeah. Ms. Till?
I'm just listening.
All right. Oh, yeah.
One more question. Should we even proceed with anything until the judge has looked at the other 5 motions? Should we not just wait because we may want to join, depending on how the judge rules on the other 5 motions, because I think it's only 1 out of 6 that he said, that this is decided, but should we wait because we may want to join in other motions or may not want to? So just
Yeah, that's a discussion for you guys for sure.
I think that's what Chair Raffle said. We could or we could not.
Mhm.
I may have misheard you, but I thought that's what you
I
said.
think that's what I'm understanding from what she said.
yeah, is,
I'm in favor of, today passing a resolution to direct staff to act on our behalf, up to a certain point. I don't know how we would spell that up to point out in the resolution, but because, so,
Maybe investigate or do whatever, the attorneys do and bring that information back to us.
yeah, and I think that's what Mr. Shirley was saying essentially.
Okay.
I believe, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but
So I guess maybe with the perspective that I'm getting from this, I first want to make sure that I'm hearing right. The risk of something changing again with this current election is very low. If we do nothing on this issue, the way things are going right now, things are unlikely to be reversed because it would take a reversal of the unanimous Supreme Court that decided those rules are, including the one are null and void. Is that right? I want to bring.
In that case,
in
that,
in that one.
if another one made it to the Supreme Court and for some reason they decided differently on different grounds, again, I haven't read them.
I got you,
know
okay.
what I mean?
So what I'm trying to think of, like we all are, is how do we bring as little as possible extra work on the staff right now, right? We want to get out of their way and come back
And
November
that's in the
6th,
back,
right?
that's in the
Right.
back of my
So
mind,
I want to
too.
be sure, I don't want to just dismiss out of hand, if there is a chance that if we do nothing here, it might come back and bite us in the rear end, so to speak, on the stuff on our plate. What do you see as far as that? If we were to wait on this, like Mr. Kadir is saying, is there something that we need to jump on now that we could save staff some stress later on by jumping on it now versus letting it develop a little more?
Yeah, if
I
you
think
don't
that,
need
I
to,
think that that would probably happen automatically. We have lawyers here, and if they receive it and read it, and it's not, then they report back to us that we don't need to do anything with it. We either don't need to do anything about it, or here's what we suggest you do.
Mhm.
And that will lie solely with them when they look at it from a legal standpoint, and that's what they will be reporting back.
And then we can take an action.
And we
on
can
their
take an action
suggestion,
on.
or not, again. Right, okay.
Okay.
The floor is open for a motion if Ms. Willow wanted to make that.
Somebody size that up for me.
Yeah, I'm not putting the words on you, but attorney, help us. with
Yeah,
the
let me
words.
see, Sherry and I came up with a little
Yeah,
proposed language. I'm
you
not
mentioned you
making
had a
questions for
draft.
you. I started thinking about this meeting and I thought, oh, good grief, how are we gonna do this? Okay, let's do it. Okay, so, let's see, so a motion to authorize the Muskogee County. Oh, wait, no.
I might have gathered a few words in my head,
Okay.
but, to give the, attorneys the authority to receive and, I'm searching for a word here, to receive, if they receive the amicus brief from Muskogee County, to review and report back to us so that we can make a decision on it, something along those lines.
Okay, yeah, that would work. And that's very similar to what we wrote. We wrote the motion to direct the attorney's office to review and if requested, participate in the drafting of the amicus brief anticipated to be filed by Muskogee County Board of Elections, the Cobb County Board of Elections case against the state election board with the intention, this is the part though that, and you guys tell me, with the intention of having the ACC Board of Elections join in the amicus brief. You know, but that part can be left out at this point.
I think at this point, since it's a little extra going on.
You're making the motion, so
Yeah,
you
I think
decide.
the last part is a little extra.
yeah.
We
I
don't wanna
forgot
go
to
that
say
deep, we don't wanna go that deep.
Because you don't know what it says yet.
Mhm.
So
Do we have a second?
what was the motion? Sorry, Ms. Rambo, did you like what Ms. Davis was suggesting?
Mhm.
Just the first part, you mean say it?
Yeah.
Up until with the intention of?
Sure. Motion to direct the attorney's office to review and if requested, participate in the drafting of the amicus brief anticipated to be filed by the Muskogee County Board of Elections in the Cobb County Board of Elections case against the state election board. I know. And again, that's,
All those T's.
yeah,
and
that's
I's.
it. I didn't want to put that in
That's
your mind before we got started, yeah.
But those are all the I's and T's that we need in there.
Until it's been doctored, is this case named the way decisions are named, like Cobb County Board of Elections v. State Election Board?
Yeah, and I can give you the case
So
number.
I think I pulled up a PDF of that.
Yeah, if you have the PDF, then you have the.
Is the civil action file number, the two
It's
four,
24 CD something.
that, would that be sufficient for the,
Let's
okay, got it.
CD 012491.
That's what I got,
Okay.
that's what I got. Okay. All right,
And again, this may be, they may not end up filing an appeal, they may not end up filing an amicus brief, you know.
But at least this motion saves us
Coming back.
one step.
Right, that's right.
So there's a motion. Do we have a second? He'll read it if anyone wants a second.
okay. How do I reference, Muskogee County Board of Elections in the Cobb County Board of Elections registration case, petition, suit, action?
Oh, okay. I like the word
Okay.
action.
All right, great.
But
Action,
you can
then,
call them anything.
and then like number 24 CB 01, the docket, how do I refer to that?
Yeah, so you can, the Cobb County Board of Elections and registration, I mean,
Right.
the technical
Yep.
term is,
Mhm.
and versus state election board,
Mhm.
civil action number 240.
Got it. Civil action number. There we go.
I like it.
Okay, so what I then have is a motion by Ms. Fambro to direct the ACC Attorney's Office to review and, if requested, participate in the drafting of the amicus brief anticipated to be filed by the Muscogee County Board of Elections in the Cobb County Board of Elections and Registration v. State Election Board Civil Action Number 24CB 012491.
Excellent.
Is that,
I know.
is that accurately reflect what
So-
you'd like it to say?
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
It's all legal.
Just making sure.
do we have a second?
I'll happily second that.
Now discussion. I feel like we should add, I know you didn't want to have that last sentence, but maybe add a next step to it, what it would be, I'm not sure.
It would be for them to come back and present what they had
Yeah,
investigated or found out or suggested to us.
What will that get us? If you add that,
well, I mean, they could participate in drafting and then that would be the end of the action. There needs to be a next step for us to take action.
Yeah, to
Or
push it
or
back.
not to take
Yeah,
action.
it would push it back to us.
And then the board will review.
Yeah.
It could be that simple.
Yeah,
Are you okay with that amendment then?
I am.
As the seconder, are you okay since you just wrote it?
I'm open to, remind me what it is. That sounds great, but remind me, like, at the end of it, just say, to then be reviewed by,
Yeah,
Board of Ed, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
okay.
there's a big sentence, how to make it still one sentence.
I know,
Such,
it's got a lot
With-
of commas.
with such,
Right, semicolon.
review.
right, when in doubt, semicolon. Um, with such. Brief. Be. To. All right, so I've got the previous motion, and at the end of it, comma, with such brief to then be reviewed by the Athens-Clarke County Board of Elections and Voter Registration. Is that,
Love it. If Ms. Pamela loves it.
is that,
Yes, I love it, love it, love it, love
There we go. And as seconder, you love it?
yes,
All right, all those in favor say aye.
it.
Any opposed? Okay. Right. Let us
If I
know.
may, I was just reading through the Supreme Court thing, and, so part of the underlying order that they left in place, so part of the eternal vigilance, requires that the state election board notify all state and local elections officials the rules are not to be followed. So you should anticipate. No,
So-
just from the state election board, though.
Does he come from via the Secretary of State usually?
Yes.
Do they send you a certified letter, or is it just an email, Firefly?
Michael being.
All right, shall we move on?
Now we can, actually conducting.
Yes, up next are announcements, but I did have two questions for the director. I sent an email in earlier today regarding when the vote review panel dates are, when they'll be meeting, the dates and times. Do we have that yet?
Yes, it will start on October 30th from 3 till 7.
Could someone
Hold on.
just reply to my?
It's the date.
Today?
Yes, and I am working up my emails, so yeah.
Sure. I understand you're busy.
You're right, the 30th is 3 to 7. Friday is 1.
3 to 7, and then 1 to 5 on Friday, and then Monday and Tuesday, we begin at 1 to 5 on Monday, and then Tuesday 1 to completion.
Monday, what date is that?
Monday's the 4th.
Thank you.
And then my other question is, do you have an update on the billboard? Have they been replaced or changed? or-
So I received confirmation from the vendor yesterday that they have the billboard, the number to be changed. And they were gonna
Just
try to get
case
it
like
done, yes, and they were gonna try to get it done yesterday, but no later than today. So hopefully when I ride by today, that one is there, not the three.
There we go.
I saw one that was fixed yesterday. I can't remember where I was when I saw it, but at least one of the billboards is now reads the.
Oh, good, good, so they're getting around. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell y'all, I don't know how we're still trying to figure out how it got mixed up, because when it was sent in the beginning, it had the first on it, and sometime during the translation part, when we sent it to to get the vendor for Spanish, somewhere the 3 and the 1 got messed up, I don't know how, but I'm still trying to figure that out, because there's no way we missed that, just
Doesn't
missed
matter.
it.
That's okay.
But it's fixed, right?
We're not.
That's the important.
That's the
I
main
know, but
thing.
y'all just don't know. I was on a ledge, and then I was like, okay, I can come down now.
You step right back from that. We're not upset. Couple steps back. Do any board members have any general little questions, comments before we do announcements and then adjourn?
Any updates on Linden House you can give us? I've been hearing great things today and yesterday.
Yes, great things, and we're still, of course, advertising that we're not voting at our office. We did have some volunteers that were outside of the office that were giving folks directions, that the election was at the advancement was at Linden House. So I don't know who they are, but kudos to them, thank you.
Thank you for your
And,
service.
but yeah, turnout is just like great. Yes, great.
Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I was over there yesterday, and everybody that's over there, Lisa, all the workers, inside, outside, they do an excellent job. They're getting the people that are signing them up, they're getting people through the line, and they're getting them to the booths to vote. And so I came in, and the first thing I told people, I said, I'm not cutting the line now. So everybody, people were happy in the line. I didn't see any sour pussies anywhere. So instead of going out the front door, I came back out the back door. And, everybody was still happy. I said, y'all have a great time. Thank you for voting. I've never seen that before. I didn't see anybody complaining. I didn't see anybody twiddling their thumbs. But just want to say, it is a very, very smooth operation.
Do you know what percentage we went up from 2020 for the first week?
Over half. I think it was a little over half, yeah.
Wow.
I did the math on that first Tuesday. My math is not good, we'll start with, but it seems like that early hour was pretty on par with the rest of the day.
Oh, yeah.
It was a little bit under, but
Okay.
just divided the total by. So,
Yeah. And then yesterday morning it was very low,
Yeah.
but yesterday evening it was like,
It's 155.
yeah, from 5 to 7, so.
okay. All right, announcements, Mr. Secretary, would you read those, please?
Before we get there, there's a question.
Is it on there?
Yeah, that certifying
It is.
election.
We didn't, you
Oh, date,
want
TV.
to decide that?
Can we do it that Friday at 9:30?
I mean, we typically do the Friday. And the reason you're suggesting the Friday is, could there be any
Any hiccups?
issues, we can resolve it before Tuesday at Friday?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah, and then you would just say that we would have a special hall meeting, I guess, Friday, if you need to, yeah, let's do it that way. Hopefully we can get it all certified and we can all relax. For the rest of the weekend and Veterans Day.
So what is that
Like
date?
you're off-
Friday, November the 8th.
Is that the end?
Yes, just want to just be okay with it. Yeah, it's done. Then we can focus on our risk limiting audit that we have prepared for.
Excuse me. November 8th, got it.
Like, they wrote that down.
Sorry,
They wrote that down.
November 8th. Works
Here,
5:30.
Friday.
here, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And the reason it's at 5:30 because UOCOG voters have until Friday at 5. That'll give the office staff a few minutes to drive them down. Okay. Everybody good with that?
You said 5 p.m.,
5:30,
5:30.
okay,
Okay, so I proceed.
please.
All right, the elections office downtown is not a polling location for this election. It is open for business and absentee ballots may be hand delivered there to office staff during business hours. But the absentee ballot drop box is located at the Linden House Art Center, 211 Hoyt Street. Monday, October 21st through Friday, October 25th, 7 a.m. through 7 p.m. Advanced in-person voting continues at Linden House Art Center, 211 Hoyt Street. This Saturday, October 26th, from 9 until 5, Saturday voting at these locations: Linden House Art Center, Athens-Clarke County Library, 2025 Baxter Street, the Miriam Moore Community Center, 410 McKinley Drive, Athens-Clarke County Tennis Center, 4460 Lexington Road, Cooperative Extension Office, 275 Cleveland Road. Sunday, October 27th, at the Linden House Arts Center, from 12 noon until 3 p.m. is the final day of Sunday voting. Full early voting dates, times, and locations can be found at accgov.com/advancevoting. Tuesday, November the 5th is the last day to vote in person or to drop off an absentee ballot for the November general election. At 12 noon, at a location to be determined, we'll have a special called meeting of this body at 4:30 p.m. Location to be determined, we'll have another special call meeting of this body. And then Friday, November the 8th at 5:30 p.m., right here at 2555 Lexington Road, will be a special call meeting to certify the results of the November general election. Great, back to you.
Okay, let's come back to number 6 here, the noon meeting and the 4:30 meeting. I'm scheduled to be in the EOC. So does someone want to tap me out, or would you like to conduct those meetings as well? Or perhaps I could do the noon one and some,
Either way, my schedule is free.
okay. Well, we'll just work that out
Okay.
then.
Do you want to hold two meetings on it?
Just a check-in at 12 and then back.
Well, with the,
I have something that might make this moot. I won't be available 12 noon. I'll be at work that day. And so there won't be a quorum possibly. Yeah, 2 of us can meet anywhere and check in with things, right, without it being a meeting.
Mhm.
So that might make it easier for that part of things. If you're indisposed and I'm at work, if one of y'all is out at precincts, if 2 of y'all wanted to meet real quick with and have a huddle up with somebody from staff, it's not a meeting.
okay,
Yeah,
You don't mind coming by the office to huddle?
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
should we call it a special call just in case? And if there's only 2, then there's no quorum and there's no meeting?
I mean, as long as
Good.
there's not a quorum, it's
Three of-
okay. If you think there's any chance it's gonna be a quorum, then you need to notice it out.
Quorum means agenda,
3.
Yeah.
rec video.
So you 2 guys wanna do 12?
I was planning to be there.
Okay, so,
Yeah, right here, right?
no, they're gonna be downtown,
Oh,
but you're gonna have some parking down that they're not voting down there, okay?
That's fine. I take the bus downtown anyway.
All right,
Okay, and they'll just meet with me at noon, just 3. Okay.
check in, yeah. Okay,
And then back to a meeting at 4,
Mhm.
then. 4:30 on here. Oh, I've already.
are you interested in coming at 4:30 for some time?
Because I
Give me a little break.
I'd be happy to.
You taking it.
I won't be able to get it, but sure.
Are you gonna put together a schedule?
Can.
Who else?
Yeah, you could do 4:30.
I can, yep, I'll be there. Now, I want to be sure, so it's not a meeting at noon.
Right.
We're just, got it.
So let's just strike.
Got to make sure. There will not be a quorum, no business will be taken up. It's just a check-in of 2 of us downtown, okay? And then 4:30 here will be a meeting we're calling.
Right.
Got it?
As
Okay.
usual, you
Just got
gotta, here,
Here.
right, even better.
In here?
I'll let you know.
Okay.
There's a lot going on that day.
Yes.
In here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Ms. McGlone just mentioned, having a board member schedule for the EOC. Is anyone else interested in relieving me for a while during the day.
What day is that?
Election day.
Election day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Shirley said he could do it at 4:30.
So
Where will
is
you,
it
where will
unique?
you be doing that?
I'll just,
Here.
At the
it's
police
at the
station.
police station. I'll
Police
let you
station.
know.
Oh, just not here, okay.
Yes,
Sure, Raffle. So, how about we make a call to the hospital and ask that if they have, anybody at the hospital that wants a ballot to have the information to us by 11 o'clock that day. So when when you two, meet with me at noon, we'll have lunch there, of course. And then after that, y'all can take the ballots to the hospital and have them ready by the 4:30 meeting. We'll have that. Is that
Hank,
okay?
Hank and Willa.
Mhm.
Okay. You heard that thing?
Give me the time again.
It's gonna be the same thing. You and I are gonna meet with, Director Soulsby at
Yeah.
12 noon.
Right.
And we're gonna have lunch.
Right.
You're gonna go over some things with us.
Mhm.
Then we're going to take, it takes two people. We're gonna go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Either take the ballots, check the ballots.
They
I've got-
Yeah, I've got the whole.
Yeah, that's our
Just wanna make sure that we-
election.
Yeah, just want to make sure.
All right, so that's great. Thanks for bringing that up. You guys will do hospital if necessary, both of them.
Mhm.
They'll meet with you at noon. For now, at least Adam will come at 4:30 over at the police station for a while, which means can be here for the 4:30 meeting
Right.
and then go from there.
Sounds like-
All right. Motion on the floor to adjourn.
All right.
No,
Not so fast.
With everything that's going on, should we schedule a meeting for next Tuesday, just in case? You know, you're gonna be hearing from the courts, things are gonna be happening. Instead of trying to rush into scheduling something, it's easier to schedule a meeting now,
And, yeah,
Hear you. Yep.
next Tuesday, same time.
I'm available.
The 12th?
yeah.
Yeah.
What is it called?
20.
Sorry.
The 29th.
Yeah.
Or the 29th.
Yeah.
Yeah, works for me. Open enrollment that day. Good. I'm assuming the training room is.
That will be the last day you'll be able to use it. The following day starts early tabulation, so.
Yes. And we might not have to meet anyway.
So you might cancel, it might be canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think, would you let us know by Friday, early afternoon, whether we've received anything?
Sure will.
And then we'll,
And then you can discuss.
we can have a
the
little
other-
email chat and we'll go from there.
Adam,
Man,
if we had an opportunity, could you send us out an email with these schedules right here only on there? You know, for the proposed meeting for Hank and I at noon
yes, ma'am.
and for Rocky and, you know.
Yeah.
So we'll have just that. You know, to have that to look at, not mixed in with anything else.
Yes, ma'am. I'll make it right now.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
What
All
time
right.
is the meeting on the 29th?
Would it be 4:30? Next to 4:30?
And where is that going to be, did you say?
Here,
Thank you.
here.
And we'll let you know by Friday, this Friday.
Okay.
No, yes.
So,
Gosh, time is so crazy, isn't it?
Friday, yeah,
No, this Friday.
yep, the
If-
25th.
Yeah, if we have anything for you to act on with regard to the,
Okay, good.
Okay, motion on the floor to adjourn. Ms. Toth. Do we have a second?
I said.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.